Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Raja's Kakasungura YouTube channel. Big thank you to those who are subscribing to this channel. As we said, this year we want to close and click 100,000 subscribers. So we are on the race, and I know we are going to achieve this. There are some things I want to put clear on this very platform so that the Kenyans are able to understand what they're dealing with. You have seen in the news that the statehouse Kenya was closed down temporarily for a historic renovation since its inception 117 years ago. People have raised alarm, and so many people have raised questions. Does it mean Ruto wants to stay in power forever? That is the question so many people are asking. And if he doesn't, why is he renovating the state house now? I'll give you two reasons. And the major reason is this. One, the main reason for this is to embezzle public funds. It's an avenue to loot public money. It's an avenue ya kutoa pesa. Right? So it's not something too special that we should open our minds to start thinking about. The renovation of the state house is awarding a contractor, a friendly contractor, give them billions of shillings, and give back an offering to the bishop. Because you know who the bishop is. So wacha kufungua macho ati kufikiria Ruto. Ile ni kukula pesa ya umma, kurudisha pesa ya campaign and nothing more. Now, I'm going to respond to your question. How possible is it for William Ruto to stay in power forever? How possible is that? To me, it's about 5% possible. 95% to me looks impossible. Why? Our Kenyan constitution is designed in such a way that you cannot wake up in the morning and just change the constitution. There are very sensitive matters highlighted in the constitution that if you want to change, there are a set procedure that should be followed before you do it. Other things you can do at will. You can use parliament, you can pay a few members of parliament, and then they just pass it. But they are very sensitive areas that if you want to change them, you must follow a laid down series of procedures. I want to read for you Article 255, amendment of this constitution. A proposed amendment to this constitution shall be enacted in accordance with Article 256 or 257 and approved in accordance with Clause 2 by a referendum if the amendment relates to any of the following matters. I am going to read for you Article 256 and Article 257. Of course, Article 256, when you want to amend this, Article 256 talks about amendment by the Parliamentary Initiative. And 257 talks about amendment by the Popular Initiative, if I'm not wrong. But if you want to do major amendment that include the following is when you will amend as per the laid procedures in Article 256 by the Parliamentary Initiative, it has its procedure, or by the Popular Initiative. But then, both procedures must finish at the referendum. Right? Both procedures must finish at the referendum. I want to read it for you. A, if you want to change about the supremacy of this constitution, if you want to change the territory of Kenya, if you want to change the sovereignty of the people, if you want to change the national values and principles of governance, if you want to change the Bill of Rights, F is where I'm laying emphasis. The term of office of the president. So, if you want to change the term limit of the president, then you must follow the following procedures. 1, the procedure of the Parliamentary Initiative. Number 2, or the procedure of the Popular Initiative. Now, what does the Parliamentary Initiative say? It says, first, listen to what Article 255 said. 1, a proposed amendment to this constitution be enacted in accordance with Article 256 or 257 and approved in accordance with Clause 2 by a referendum. So, either it is by the popular initiative or it's either by the parliamentary initiative. Both of them must go through a referendum. Tunasikizana? So, members of parliament cannot just wake up in the morning and decide to change the term limit of the president. It cannot work like that. Kenyans must decide. The power belongs to the people. Article 1, sovereignty of the people, power to the people. So it's the people of the Republic of Kenya who have the power to either add a presidential term limit or lower the presidential term limit. So no, Ruto cannot wake up in the morning and say, I want to rule for 20 years. It will never happen. The Senate cannot wake up one morning and say, we have given Ruto 30 years. It will never happen. The National Assembly cannot wake up in the morning and say, we have given Ruto 20 years. It cannot happen. This can only be done by the people of the Republic of Kenya through a referendum after some procedures of drafting that bill have been followed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you through the parliamentary initiative. This is what it says. Article 256. A bill to amend this constitution may be introduced in either House of Parliament, may not address any other matter apart from consequential amendment to legislation arising from the bill, shall not be called for a second reading in either House within 90 days after the first reading of the bill in the House, and shall have been passed by Parliament when each House of Parliament has passed the bill, both the Senate and both the National Assembly, in both its second and third reading by not less than 2/3 of all the members of that House. Number 2, Parliament shall publicize any bill to amend. Listen to this. Listen. Parliament shall publicize any bill to amend this constitution and facilitate public discussion about the bill. Now, hata nikiachia hapo, I want to take you also to Article 257, amendment by the popular initiative. So, even if it's through Parliament, the people must be involved. Number 1, an amendment to this constitution may be proposed by a popular initiative signed by at least 1 million registered voters. A popular initiative for an amendment to this constitution may be in the form of a general suggestion or a formulated draft bill. If a popular initiative is in the form of a general suggestion, the promoters of that popular initiative shall formulate it into a drafted bill. The promoters of a popular initiative shall deliver the bill and the supporting signatures to the IEBC. We shall verify that the initiative is supported by at least 1 million registered voters. If the IEBC is satisfied that the initiative meets the requirements of this article, the Commission shall submit the draft bill to each county assembly for a consideration within 3 months after the date it was submitted by the Commission. If a county assembly, so you can get the procedure of this. It's so tough. It's a very tough procedure. You saw what BBI underwent. And BBI fell along the way because it didn't meet some requirements. It was not by the popular initiative because the promoters were not the people. As much as they are Kenyan citizens, they had interest in that bill. So they couldn't be entirely be valued or be assumed to have come from the popular initiative. So the BBI did not meet the constitutional requirement of changing the Kenyan constitution as read in the article I read, Article 255, which means you cannot wake up and use shortcuts to change the constitution in sensitive matters as of the increment of the term limit of the president. It will not happen, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm becoming a lawyer. Okay. Now, there are so many procedures it must undergo the assembly and blah, 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 blah. Now, I want to read for you if either house or, listen, so this by the popular initiative. You saw by the parliamentary initiative, the people must be involved. It will be publicized for people to discuss and give way forward. Also, in the popular initiative, this is what it says. If either House or Parliament fails to pass the bill, or the bill relates to a matter specified in Article 255(1), the one I read, the proposed amendment shall be submitted to the people in a referendum. Article 255(2) applies with any necessary modifications to a referendum under Clause 10. So, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot wake up in the morning and say, I want to stay in power for 30 years. You can't do that. You cannot wake up in the morning and tell Parliament to tell the people that as the National Assembly, we have given Ruto 40 years. It cannot happen like that. Not even the Senate. So I want to thank the way our Constitution was structured in a way that everything oscillates around the power of the people. Power. In Kenya, our Constitution gives all the power to the people. Power, that's why Article 1 says, power belongs to the people. The president is in office because of the people. The MCA is in office because of the people. The member of parliament is in office because of the people. The governor is in office because of the people. The people can decide to kick you out of that office because the power belongs to them. Ladies and gentlemen, so those thinking that Ruto can wake up one day and announce to stay in power forever, you are misled. It's a procedure. It's a tough exercise. It's not 1+1. It will take time. And by the way, as things are in this country, I don't think that Kenya, through a referendum, can approve that nonsense. They cannot. As things are standing now, the economy, the education sector, health sector, I don't think that this issue can go through a referendum. It's impossible. It cannot happen and will never happen. So wale muko na tumbo joto, tulieni. Renovation ya statehouse, watu wanakula pesa yenu ya tax. Na huo ndio ukweli wa maneno, siku moja you will come to tell me, because a scandal will arise either now or years to come after Ruto has gone from power. Ladies and gentlemen, this video will remain here for reference. When that time comes, I'll be here to remind you. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. See you in the next video. Asanteni sana. Kuna watu wamekuwa wakiniulizia, kaka, nitapata wapi shamba mzuri, shamba ambayo ninaweza nikafanya farming ya miwa, niende nijenge nyumba vizuri, nifanye farming ya mahindi. Kuna mali safi hapa. Check hiyo shamba. 10 acres. shamba kubwa, shamba unaweza lima vizuri, iko na barabara. Check hiyo barabara. Hiyo shamba iko mara mbili. Kuna moja chini ya barabara, ingine juu ya barabara. Hiyo shamba, hiyo ni miwa imepandwa hapo. Miwa peke yake. Hiyo shamba iko karibu na Mumias Sugar Factory. So kuna wale watu ambao wanapenda kufanya biashara za miwa. Hapa ndio mahali pazuri unaweza ukapanda miwa ili utengeneze pesa msimu huu wa serikali ambayo imetupatia jua kali katika kutafuta pesa. Hii shamba iko mahali panaitwa Koyonzo Buhutu sublocation na iko karibu na Ejinja Market ndani ya Kakamega County. Na hii shamba iko na barabara ambayo bado imewekwa moram, barabara ambayo haina matope. So ukitaka kusafirisha miwa, ukitaka kusafirisha mahindi, ukitaka kusafirisha chochote ambacho unaweza ukapanda mahali hapa, itakuwa sawa kabisa. Na iko 7 kilometers kutoka Mumia Sugar Factory. Kwa hivyo si mbali sana. Unaweza ukatembea. Kama umepanda miwa, ni karibu pia na factory. Kwa hivyo hauhitaji tena kutafuta gari ya kukupelekea miwa yako mbali sana. Mali safi. Title iko ready na kila kitu kipo tayari. Na hii shamba iko unique kwa sababu hapo ndani kuna mto, yani river. Maji iko 24 hours. Maji iko 24/7. Kwa hivyo haufai kwenda kutafuta maji bali popote tu. Kama umefuga ng'ombe, ukichukua hii shamba kwa mfano na unataka kufuga ng'ombe, unataka kufuga mifugo, basi hauendi kutafuta maji kwingine. Maji iko hapo ndani. Ukiangalia kwenda pale juu, angalia vile miti imepandwa vizuri. Check hiyo shamba, mali safi. Nasema mali safi Chito. Na hii ni mali safi yenyewe. Hii shamba iko na title deed, iko ready. Na kazi yako ukinunua ni kutransfer. Ni 1 million per acre. Kwa hivyo kama unataka kununua yote ni 10 million Kenyan shillings. Na pia unaweza kufanya negotiation ili at least ufanyiwe discount kidogo ili teremke chini. Na hii shamba tunavyozungumza sasa hivi iko katika market na watu wengi wanahitaji. Kwa hivyo kama wewe ni mkulima, hapa ndipo mahali unafaa kukimbia ujinyakulie hii shamba. Kwa nini hili shamba linauzwa? Ni kwa sababu mwenye hili shamba yuko mbali na wale watu ambao wameajiriwa hapo wameshindwa kuifanyia maintenance. Yaani hiyo miwa imepandwa hapo, imagine wameshindwa kuifanyia maintenance. Kwa hivyo leo ukinunua hii shamba unaenda na hii miwa. Kama wewe ni mtu ambaye unapenda kufanya maintenance, bas utafanya maintenance kwa hii shamba na uchukue miwa. So sababu kubwa watu wanaweza nikaduliza, kaka, kwa nini mnauza hiyo shamba? Kwa nini mwenyewe anauza hiyo shamba? Ni kwa sababu watu wameajiri hapo. Angalia miwa. Ukiangalia pale chini, hapo ni chini ya barabara. Kuna mto pale chini mwisho. Pia kuna stima. Umeona laini ya stima hapo. Hii shamba iko na stima, iko tayari. Kwa hivyo iko na kila kitu. Unajua ukinunua shamba unaangalia maji, unaangalia stima na hasa unaangalia barabara, pia na security. Ukiangalia mahali hapa kuna security, kuna barabara, kuna stima na kuna maji 24 hours. Piga simu 07 22 40 49 69. 07 22 40 49 69. Ukipiga hiyo simu, bas utapatana na mtu ambaye atakuelekeza ili kupata mali safi kutoka eneo la Koyonzo Buhutu sublocation karibu na Ejinja Market ndani ya Kakamega County. Shamba nzuri ya kuishi, shamba nzuri ya kufanya farming, shamba nzuri ya kufuga mifugo. Iko karibu na barabara, iko karibu na market, iko karibu na Mumias Sugar Factory. 7 kilometers away. Imepandwa miti, imepandwa miwa. Kwa hivyo ni 10 million peke yake. Na hiyo shamba iko 10 acres. Ukubwa wake ni 10 acres. Na barabara imepita katikati. Kwa hivyo shamba hili linakungoja kwa bei nafuu.